Alright, so we are live with some more Brawl Commander. This time, once again, borrowing an MTG Josh deck. From a couple months ago, one of the Final Fantasy Commanders I haven't gotten around to doing, and it's interesting because this is one of the four that were in the actual pre-made Commander decks, and that is Y'shtola, Knights Blessed. In some ways, this is like a Spellslinger deck, and also in some ways it leads itself to being easily control-playing. Vigilance is 2/4. At the beginning of each end step, if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, you draw a card. That also includes you. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell with mana value 3 or greater, Y'shtola deals 2 damage to each opponent, and you gain 2 life. You can see how this can scale very easily in a normal game of Commander. The rest of the deck, you're playing a bunch of Esper good stuff. I mean, you have a few protection spells like Restoration Magic, Strict Serenade. So basically ways to keep your commander alive. But other than that, you're playing a good stuff Commander deck. You know, whether it's things like Cut Down, Swords to Plowshares, Reanimate, Fatal Push, you know, Early Acceleration, Mana Drain, you know, basically anything that is a busted Esper card you're playing. Notably a heavy reliance on 3-drops and higher because of Y'shtola. So you're playing a lot of sorcery speed stuff, things like Black Market Connections, Phyrexian Arena, Rhystic Study, Staff of Completion, which we'll see how that does in this deck. Roaming Throne obviously goes nice with any commander with any triggered abilities. And then so on and so forth. You know, things like Day of Judgment, Damnation, Supreme Verdict. They also have Split Up, so plenty of sweepers. I swear I'm becoming more and more of a control player like my brother, but I still hate control mirrors, so we'll see how that goes. But that said, Y'shtola, Knights Blessed. Let's get into some games. So the nice thing about Esper over the Dimir ones we've been playing lately is it obviously has access to some pretty decent cards overall, whether it be swords, whether it be, you know, those kind of things. This one's going to be interesting. 2 lands, never ideal, but we do have a Surveil land, so I think we'll roll with it. Elves. Elves are all you need. Buster Sword's a little weird in this deck. I'm not going to not lie, but I think, okay, sure. Apparently our opponent didn't like their scry and just decided to give us a free victory. Didn't even cast a spell. Have not run too much into Y'shtola. In fact, I don't think I've ever actually played against her as a commander, either in Commander or Brawl. I had played a few matches offline before we started rolling on stream, so I had some idea of how her ideas interact, or how her things interact with the deck. So, store target artifact, enchantment. A lot of these like destroy or counter effects with like the ability to just annoy your opponent, so. Rathalos. Yeah, we'll keep a land. Utopia Sprawl. Should have played the plains there, you know, just for a situation like this. Lay this land out. Go ahead and kill Rathalos. It's possible I should have just played Phyrexian Arena there and Just tried to maximize our Day of Judgment. Pass. Unscan, wanting our opponent to commit more to the board. Kind of hoping they'll play Rathalos again. The thing with this is with our opponent playing out creatures, I've been trying to interact with them a little bit to keep them from thinking that we have a sweeper. Zenith for 6, so I'm guessing Supreme or Primeval Titan. Yep. Okay, Nykthos and Tigger hit for 7. So we'll go ahead and surveil, probably grabbing Meticulous Archive here. Don't think we're at the point where we want Raffine. Hopefully they'll have like Rathalos and nothing else. Problem for our opponent is we really don't play that many creatures in our deck, and I may not play Virtue of Persistence. Okay. Hopefully they don't get any big ones off the top here. So I guess we should have just killed the Rathalos. Wanted to conserve my mana a little bit there, or conserve my life total a little bit. Got a little too cute. So if we would have killed Rathalos, I think we would have been fine there. But Tanuk, Steadfast, second. What does this one do? Interesting. It's a terrifying start. So they pay 2 life to avoid us drawing a card. Don't really think there's probably too many cards over there that we can deal with, but get a Water Grave just in case. Is there anything in our hand that we don't want? Well, that's pretty much going to be a good game. Sure, they're just gonna absolutely destroy us with this Tanuk. Oh, that was a fun game. There's a reason Sundering Titan is banned in Commander. I'll put it that way. There's a reason that card's banned. Some ways I think it's more annoying than Primetime is. Another Dragonhawk Fate's Tempest. So the top X cards. Yeah, sounds fun. Of course they have turn 1 Ragavan, why wouldn't they? Go ahead and leave that card on top. Not something we can particularly do anything with right now anyway. Again, leave them with a card they can't really use on top. Stormseeker. We'll leave Void Rend up here. Damnation. Cards equal number of cards in your hand. You have the maximum hand size. Guess we'll play a Stola here. This is a 6. Are we dead? Okay, trigger to our opponent. Wash Away is not a terrible card. Don't think we can allow Screaming Nemesis to come down. Fortunately, that won't trigger Y'stola, but still pretty reasonable. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and draw with Teferi first. So 3 and 4. Surveil. Okay. Smothering Tide, gain some life. Rustic Study, gain some life. Our opponent had the fast start with the Ragavan, but now they're starting to get pinched a bit. That's the thing is, a lot of red decks in Commander and Brawl are very much all in. They have either very fast creature starts, very fast mana. You know, they're almost, I don't want to say red prison style-esque decks, but a lot of them have like one or two like big explosive plays, and they have to leverage that to like get into the game or end the game quickly before a deck can take over or do its thing. You know, whether it's a combo deck, whether it's, you know, another creature deck or something. This deck obviously had the very fast start with, you know, the creatures, Ragavan, So, play Sheoldred. Gain some more life. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's many flyers down there. Flyers in my neck of the woods. There is not. Cycle this, draw some more. We're still at a very close life total here, but between Y'stela and Sheoldred, this game feels like it's going to get out of hand real quickly for our opponent. Pass to 5. Can you kill us? Fire Crystal. Can we kill this turn? Okay, play that. Yeah, that's basically lethal. This deck really kind of does the thing, or does its thing well once it starts getting the ball rolling, but sometimes it's just staying alive till that point that's tricky. Staying alive, staying alive, staying alive. Speaking of alive or not alive, the Browns at trying to win football games. Okay, can someone explain the Chiefs to me? They look like garbage the first 2 weeks of the season. Now they're outpacing the Ravens 20-7. Football. It's a hand. It does things. We're up against Kotis, so I mean we have one of the few things in our deck that kills Kotis, so I guess we keep it. Delighted Halfling. Hopefully they don't have a freaking Thoughtseize! I hate Kotis. They have to take Virtue of Persistence here. Yeah. The only card that interacts with Kotis. So... just do this. Pay the 3 life. Kill that. Do this, we can play that. It's Kotis, yeah. Alright, well, I mean... really kind of need to draw something interesting here. Alright, can we draw something to answer Kotis this turn? Nope. Definitely not something we want our opponent to hang off of our deck, and I think they just mutate for the win. That's the annoying thing about CODIS, is it's almost like playing against a, in some ways it's almost like playing a hexproof deck. There's only a certain number of cards that interact with a card like that, and, you know, things like Swords, Path to Exile, you know, the -X effects, Farewell, you know, there's only so many cards that deal with CODIS, and it's just... it's not the most interesting deck to play against. I think since we're missing a color, we're going to go ahead and mulligan. We're still missing a color with this hand, but with the Surveil land, I think I'm more willing to, or the Scry land, I'm more willing to roll with it. Yeah, it gets us our missing color at least. Where's the Spider Rider? I think we have our next 2 land drops. We'll just go ahead and... what the heck does this even do? So that is Captain Landry. Yeah. Now we can take 2... yeah, take 2. We can take 2 routes here. We can either play Lotho and Esper Sentinel, or we could just continue taking our beats and try to go the, like, Phyrexian Arena Black Market Connections route. In this particular case, I don't know which one's actually better. I'll go the Phyrexian Arena route into the One Ring and hope we draw... oh my. So is this a Treasures Matter deck of some kind? Okay. So we're taking a beating this turn any which way. This is where the One Ring is a little bit worse in Arena than it is in normal Commander, because we can't actually get a card off of it. Opponent gets a bunch of treasure tokens. Do they play anything else out here? Fenrir is an interesting card that almost feels like it should go in my Mimeoplasm deck. So it's a 9/8. We have all the cards in the world, but we have no, actual sweepers or anything. That was actually dumb. I didn't sequence my lands correctly, so we are basically dead here. Yeah, I didn't sequence my lands correctly, so we now double white for Esper Sentinel. Wrenn 6. This is where something like Confounding Conundrum would be an interesting card. Sure. Don't know that Liliana is its best in this kind of a matchup. Do you have a fetch land to pair with it? Nope, they have Strip Mine. Alright, just gonna move on with life. I'm not playing against Wrenn 6 and Strip Mine. No, thank you. That's someone who says, I like to cheese my opponents and I don't mind doing it. Ugh. Scarab God. This could be an interesting one. Yeah, we'll try it. Figure we're playing against some type of value-based we'll go ahead and take a peek. Clear out any nonsensical counter spells or anything. Shocker. It's kind of an annoying card. Okay. Zombie, huh? Certainly not a card I can complain about here. Actually, go ahead and play Esper Sentinel. I don't see it doing a whole lot here. Black Market Connections is kind of a dumb card. Am I pitching here the land, I guess? Start the draining process. Continue to hold up Magic Damper here. Opponent's a little bit stuck on mana, so think we might have a decent chance of pulling away here. These cards I really wondered about, like Staff of Completion, especially since, you know, our deck does have a lot of life gain based or life loss based card advantage. And our opponent feels like they're a little bit too far behind. It's one of the blessings and the curses of control style decks or mid-range style control decks. You know, the game's very much... They play out a lot of the same ways. You start out a little bit behind, you try to get your card engines online, and then you try to close out the game before your opponent, or take control of the game and then close out the game. Played against a Johnny earlier and got smoked, so I am curious how we'll match up against Sorin. And Sorin is a card that I find very interesting. Okay, they're a life gain deck. So are we going to fall too far behind before our opponent can do the thing? We're going to grab Meticulous Archive, I think, here. It's not a terrible card to have access to here. Sure. What am I playing here? A lot of things we could have played here. Could have played out Chemball, could have played out Staff of Completion. What does this do? Don't have any way to actually protect Estella right now. We'll play out Staff of Completion, hold up, get lost. So they have 2 points of life length. Soren won't flip. Okay. What the heck is oh? It's kind of an annoying card. Okay. The heck kind of stupidity is this? Connect all if you control 7 or more cards in hand. Yep, I think we're too far behind. We'll play one more. Hopefully it'll be a good long match. Against Gobin Gene-Splice Savant. Can't be blocked. Deals combat damage. Recognize. Transform. Wait. Spells cost 2 from your last from your graveyard. Each normal card in graveyard has mana. This cost is equal to its mana. Interesting one. Missing a color. Only 2 lands. We'll try this one. Guess we should have held up. Okay. So they put a +1/+1 counter on after combat? So Strixberry name just basically says counter target commander. On Earth. Yep, that one can go through there. Well, that one's going to be fun. Play that. Play this. Was not expecting Chandra Flamecaller out of that mess. Okay, excuse me, how are they casting the Oh, this is a double-sided card. Sure. Okay, that's certainly an interesting... They're kind of like a Madness adjacent. So I'm guessing that's going to go after... Wowzers. That is quite the insane thing once its engine gets rolling. Okay, let's draw a card off Yastola. It's possible we should have gone for the full Monty. With losing 4 life, we would have drawn an additional card. Granted, that being said, I don't know that we're beating the current board anyway, but... Destroy all tapped creatures. Okay. I'm 99% sure we're dead this turn, but could draw something interesting. Okay, we draw a card here. And it's sorcery speed, so that don't do as much good. I mean, literally, our opponent doesn't have to do anything. They can just activate their Chandra Flamecaller and attack in, and that's game. They didn't even need to kill our creatures. They could have just done Chandra's Plus and killed us. So at that point in time, yeah, we're just too far behind. I mean, the card itself is got a lot going on. You know, whenever you're casting non-creature spells through your greater, you're gaining life. You know, even better, obviously, in a multiplayer game where you're hitting multiple opponents. You know, if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, you draw a card. That means any opponent that's getting attacked, you get to draw a card. This card's just a lot more powerful than I expected it to be, honestly. The rest of the deck, I mean, you're playing Esper good stuff. I mean, it's hard to find fault with any of these cards. We didn't even see a lot of them, so. I have not tried the Madoil, but I did actually play against one earlier, and kind of got smacked. I kept their board under control, kept their board under control, and then didn't kill the Rathalos one turn with a Dismember because I wanted to conserve my life total a little bit because I had a Bolas' Citadel out, and then ended up getting smoked by a Emrakul either off a top or it was the card in their hand. So it's certainly a card that I'm interested in getting to eventually in Brawl. Anything with like Rathalos and those, you can just do some insanely. A lot of the mono green commanders like that, Azusa, so yeah, basically. They also had Defense of the Heart, which I'm not really playing that many creatures anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal for me. But it's like, oh, I'm gonna get these 2 stupid Eldrazi out of my deck, or you know, any other number of things. You know, they've printed a lot of cards in the Brawl lately with the anthology sets and with Final Fantasy, that it's really starting to get, well, not quite Commander. It's getting a lot closer and a lot closer. And honestly, I find Brawl and Commander just to be the most fun. You know, it really looks like Modern with Pro Tour may have gotten back into a better place. World Spine, World Rathalos can combo in with Tooth and Nail. Is Tooth and Nail legal on? I should probably just look. Tooth and Nail. Doesn't mean I have it, but it probably is legal. It is not yet. So, that's certainly a card they could add at some point, but Tooth and Nail too. Yeah. Tooth and Nail is a pretty sweet card. And it's expensive as heck. I think March of the Ents is another one you see a lot of. Ents. Green. March of. It's possible I don't have that one. Trying to think of what this stupid card is. Yeah, that might explain why Tooth and Nail didn't pop up. Is because I'm in a deck that. Anyways. So, collection. Tooth. And. Yeah. And then Ents. Last march the Ents. Draw cards equal the greatest toughness among creatures you control, then put any number of creature cards from your hands on the battlefield. This card I've eaten so many times in Brawl out of those big green ramp decks that just kind of does stupid things. It's like your opponent has any kind of board presence or anything with a big butt, you're just eating a couple of Eldrazi's and going, well, that was a fun game. Emrakul and Sirach. Yeah, Sirach the Hunt Caller.
Did you just say something about big butts?
Yes.
So the song fits. Got it.
Pop goes the wifey. Emrakul and Sirach is 16 damage. I'm guessing Sirach the Hunt Caller. Am I misspelling Sirach?
I think I need to go back to church.
Why?
Because now I like big butts in my head.
S-U-R-A-K. I'm guessing it's another card I don't have collected for some reason. Yep, Sirach the Hunt Caller. Ew. It's 6:30, dear.
I know, I want it to be 8.
Oh, you want to watch your Broncos lose by another field goal?
Hey, them fighting words.
Hey, I won't be awake enough to hear it. Well, you might wake me up if they lose to another field goal, but... No, you're not. You'll be right back rooting for them the next week. Sirach and Goreclaw. Yeah, there's a lot of dumb cards. Yeah, if you have a list, O'Doyle.
Go keep talking.
Why did you close the door if you're coming in here anyway?
To make fun of you.
Oh, what else is new? But yeah, if you have a list to share, feel free to send it to the MTGO Tavern at gmail.com, because I haven't actually looked up any Rathalos lists lately. But yeah, thanks for O'Doyle hanging out here at the end. Obviously, the Esper list did some winning tonight. Okay, I'll stay on for a few seconds for you to list it.
Yay!
You're just being a smart aleck now.
I want the Broncos because I'm getting tired and I can't watch my game because it's the late game and I'm getting tired.
So I'll take an hour and a half nap. I'll wake you up at 8 o'clock.
Then I'll need more coffee.
Okay, I can do that too.
No, that's too much work.
Well, I'm going for a walk anyway, so what's a harm in stopping at Dunkin' or something?
All ears.
You might want to go take a nap, though.
Is Duncan dependent upon if I take a nap?
No, but it might be more effective at keeping your butt awake if you...
Oh, it won't matter. It's Duncan.
You think that I'll keep you awake through 11?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I appreciate that, O'Doyle. But, alright, O'Doyle, hope to catch you later. War Dog was in last week. I've seen Foz every once in a while, so nice to see the old guard making a visit every now and then. We'll be back next week's stream. Not sure what deck we'll be streaming yet. Maybe O'Doyle's Rofelos. Because Rofelos is certainly a interesting commander to build around. Oh, that was creepy. It's really delayed, and you're just now making the faces and everything.
Yeah, I waved.
But, alright, thanks everybody for hanging out tonight. It was fun tonight hanging out. It was a blast, and